Steven Pinker, The Language Instinct, How the Mind Creates Language. Language is an undeniably powerful tool that comes naturally to human beings. In the book, The Language Instinct, How the Mind Creates Language, renowned author Steven Pinker delves into the intriguing world of linguistics, grammar, and cognitive psychology. From how babies have an innate grasp of grammar to how the human brain processes complex sentences, the book unpacks the mechanics of language while shedding light on the significance of the language instinct. As you read this summary, you will embark on a fascinating journey through the origins, principles, and impact of human language, and how it shapes our communication and perceptions of the world.
Innate grammar knowledge. Did you ever wonder how you learn to speak? According to Noam Chomsky's universal grammar theory, all babies are born with an innate understanding of grammar. This means that we don't learn grammar in school, but we already know it before we're born. The poverty of the stimulus supports this theory. Children understand grammatical structures they couldn't have learned. Even deaf children use correct grammar in sign language, proving that they have an innate knowledge of grammar. The fallacy of linguistic relativity. The Whorfian hypothesis, or linguistic relativity, suggests that the language we speak influences the way we perceive the world. However, this idea lacks a foundation. The hypothesis was proposed by Benjamin Whorf, a linguist who claimed that speakers of different languages experience reality in different ways. Whorf argued that the structure and vocabulary of Native American languages influenced the way speakers saw the world. Yet, it was discovered that Whorf never actually studied the language in person. His translations were also far from accurate, and this mystical element was found in translations from any language. Furthermore, the belief that individuals see colors differently based on their mother tongue cannot be true since language cannot modify their physiology. The Great Eskimo Vocabulary Hoax debunked the myth that Eskimos have numerous words for snow. The hypothesis of linguistic relativity is therefore unfounded, and we should avoid basing assumptions on this fallacy. The two principles of human language. Human language follows two principles that make communication possible. The first principle is the arbitrariness of the sign, which means we pair a sound with a meaning through rote learning. This allows us to transfer ideas near instantaneously without rationalization. The second principle is that language makes infinite use of finite media, meaning we have a finite set of words that we can combine to create an infinite number of sentences. Grammar governs these combinations and allows us to arrange words in specific ways to evoke specific meanings. While the number of words is finite, grammar gives us an infinite number of ways to use them. These principles are fundamental to human language and enable us to communicate with ease. The grammar of language. Language is composed of morphemes which are governed by morphological rules. Humans have an innate ability to form plurals and generate new words. Various languages differ in terms of inflectional and derivational morphology. Despite their differences, they all serve the purpose of communicating effectively. Language is not just a result of putting words together. It is composed of morphemes, the smallest bits of grammatical information. These morphemes are governed by the rules of morphology. For example, by adding the morpheme for pluralization, the suffix s, to the end of wug, we get a group of wugs. Children instinctively know morphological rules, which indicates that these rules are innate. English lacks an inflectional morphology, but it makes up for it with derivational morphology. Derivational morphology is the creation of new words from old. By adding the suffix able to the word learn, we create a new word learnable. Comparatively, the Tanzanian language Kivunjo is quite sophisticated when it comes to inflectional morphology. It can change the verb's meaning by using 7 prefixes and suffixes, all of which are morphemes. While various languages differ in terms of inflectional and derivational morphology, they all serve the purpose of communicating effectively. We do not learn grammar rules but can understand them intrinsically. In conclusion, every language's unique structure serves to convey an extensive range of messages, and it helps to provide meaning to the human experience of communicating with one another. The mystery of speech recognition. Speech recognition remains a puzzle despite significant technological evolution. While computers can analyze and recognize written words with ease, converting spoken words accurately poses a significant challenge. The biggest impediment to speech recognition lies in the process of co-articulation, where the sounds of each phoneme blend into each other during speech. As a result, the acoustic signature of each phoneme varies significantly, making it difficult for computers to recognize them without context. Although some scholars suggest that we can decipher the complex sounds of speech from context, it appears unlikely due to the pace of normal conversation. Despite the mystery surrounding how our brains handle speech recognition, we excel at it. Decoding written language. Understanding how the brain parses written language by breaking it down and interpreting its grammatical structure is the key to understanding meaning. Linguists have determined the two types of parsing using depth-first and breadth-first search. Depth-first search involves looking at entire sentences, while breadth-first search analyzes individual words to comprehend meaning. Garden path sentences are perfect examples of how the brain sometimes picks the wrong meaning, potentially causing confusion. The author delves into where our language ability comes from next. The incredible language learning ability of children. Humans are born with the innate ability to learn language, but they require a learning environment for honing their skills. Children have an extraordinary language learning ability, and an average 6-year-old has a vocabulary of around 13,000 words. Children have the power to memorize a new word every 2 waking hours, and this memory skill decreases with age. Mnemonic devices do not help children memorize individual words, and a powerful system in their brains must be at play for language acquisition. When we grow older, we lose this incredible ability, and learning a new language becomes difficult. Research shows that children who arrive in the U.S. between ages 3 to 7 have better English grammar skills than those between ages 8 to 15. Children who grow up without human contact, known as wolf children, cannot form basic grammatical sentences. Evolution and the language instinct. The origins of the language instinct are explored, and the compatibility of language and evolution is investigated. The debate surrounding the origins of the language instinct has been ongoing for decades. While some believe that the natural ability for language is an evolutionary development, others, like Chomsky, remain skeptical. The compatibility of the language instinct and Darwinian evolution is questioned due to the complexity and power of language. However, the argument that language wouldn't have aided reproductive success is flawed, as even small advantages over time can have significant impacts. Additionally, the uniqueness of language to humans, and not our closest relatives, raises questions regarding the hierarchical nature of evolution. But, it's important to remember that evolution is a bush, not a ladder, and our ability to communicate may have given our ancestors an adaptive advantage for survival. Ultimately, our knowledge of the origins of language and our ability to learn can provide insight into our own evolution as a species. The truth about grammar rules. Grammar rules have been a topic of obsession in recent decades, with prescriptive rules governing how we're supposed to speak and write. However, scientists who study language focus on descriptive rules that explain how people actually communicate. While prescriptive rules may seem important, they are merely decorations of descriptive rules. In the end, the idea of correct English is ever-changing and influenced by fads and politics. So, are you speaking grammatically or non-prescriptively? The answer may not be as straightforward as you think. The mysteries of the brain. Recent advancements in the field of neuroscience, combined with our understanding of language as an instinct, provide insight into the mysteries of the brain. In particular, key areas of the brain are associated with language, and the left parasylvian area is labeled the language organ, where 98% of language impairments resulting from brain damage occur. Different aspects of language involve specific areas in the left hemisphere. These discoveries also raise the possibility of other hardwired instincts, such as folk biology, which is the innate understanding of people that different plants and animals belong to various groups. Studies have shown that even children have an intuitive understanding of the difference between natural and artificial things, highlighting the complexity of our innate knowledge. In conclusion, the more we learn about language and other instincts, the more we understand about the workings of the brain and ourselves.
In conclusion, language is an essential aspect of the human experience that determines how we understand and communicate our thoughts. The language instinct offers an insightful exploration of the linguistic and cognitive complexities that underlie our natural language abilities. Emphasizing the role of the human brain in processing grammar, morphology, and ambiguities in meaning, the book also challenges long-held misconceptions about linguistic relativity and the evolution of language. By examining the fascinating interplay between innate grammar and acquired knowledge, this summary leaves you with a deeper appreciation of the remarkable machinery behind language and its influence on our lives.